we as a society face a number of pressing challenges, not the least of which, or perhaps the most important of which, is to figure out how to live well and sustainably. By that meaning how to maintain the natural capital which is important to sustain future well-being.
This world is at a turning point as communities are rethinking the nexus of people and places, ecosystems and economies, nature and infrastructure. Policies are key to driving change, but there is no big fix, and there are many essential players. Success, in fact, may not be that one big fix, but rather, to borrow from Mao Zedong, 1,000 blooming flowers.
You've all seen those, how many billions of dollars of value is there in natural capital around the world. And those are great gee whiz numbers to get people's attention, but it's really hard to take that and do something with it in an implementation of a policy or a decision about where should I invest in restoring areas. Of course, we all internally know and intuitively know that people's lives and livelihoods depend on nature. But if we can't show them in easy, accessible ways where and when nature matters, then we really won't be able to change decisions.
The scale of the policy, the scale of the activity, how do we magnify and really target those types of activities so that you do have a greater benefit and you do demonstrate some kind of influence in terms of your land management goals, your conservation goals. One of the great examples that has come out that I think allows us to do this at USDA is the 2012 planning rule for the Forest Service. And if you look at that rule, there is an explicit mention that it requires the land management plans to consider the provisioning of ecosystem services. It actually says that in the language.
2 years ago, I was called by the Brazilian embassy here and they said, well, the ambassador would like you to come speak to him about this initiative you all are leading. And so I got there, and he said, so what are you doing? How could you think that a country like ours can afford, to set aside 60 million hectares of forest? And he said, what is that going to do to energy development in the Amazon? You know how dependent we are on new hydro. This system will, over time, provide 12% more water to the Amazon than it would have had under a business as usual scenario. And I said that, and suddenly he had a big smile on his face, and he said, okay, well, I didn't realize the environmental groups actually were practical like that.
If I force you to say, what do you think right now is the key impediment from making it real? And if you had the ear of Obama or the World Bank chief, what would be your one key message to them about how to overcome that impediment to make it real?
I would say just do it. There's nothing more powerful than experiential knowledge. The doing of it further builds the science. It further builds the technical experience. It also enhances an understanding, indeed, of the decision barriers. So I would say one thing, if you have the desire, find the place and just do it. Build that experiential knowledge.